very autobiographical, this play. And I was a student in Vienna, and I went through a lot of the experiences that the young man did. And so that story probably just haunted me for a long time. And then I think I actually was going through a very difficult time in my own life, dealing with a certain amount of loss. And a lot of this play is about someone who falls in love, and then they lose the person that they love, and then they have to deal with the grief and the mourning process in order to move on. So I probably, I didn't know this when I wrote it, but thinking back, the reason I wrote it was that I was dealing with my own issues at the time, and it all came out in this play. When I first came to New York, I actually saw Tennessee Williams on the street, and I followed him for 6 blocks. But I never had the courage to go up to him and say anything. And he went into his, I guess, the hotel where he lived, and I don't think he lived that much longer after that. What's an iPod? Interestingly, Schumann, I believe, was in his late 20s when he wrote the music to these words. And he added this other layer of a slightly older man looking back on an experience and understanding a little bit better than he originally did. And so much of that is really about what this story is about, with these two men, the one older and the one younger. What's sort of interesting to me is that when I'm working with the actors and we're discussing the play, I actually no longer think that it's mine. I mean, the cast is obviously very aware that it's my play, but to be honest, I feel like I'm the director at that point working on somebody else's play. And I wrote this play so long ago that sometimes I have to, reread the scene and try to remember what it was all about myself and what the author's intent was. So there's something slightly removed, and I think in a good way, where, and there are moments where I think, okay, well, I'm going to have to fix what the writer did here, and maybe I can make that better. And I actually am, as I've told you before, I'm ignoring some of the stage directions that the playwright has put in because I don't agree with them. And so I think I'm improving his play, as every director does.